Rob, I wanted to ask you, because we talked about it a little bit when we were watching it, and I talked with it a little bit of Andrew.
Yeah, Mom?
Which do you think for soundtracks is better between Into and Across?
I think Spider-Man 2 soundtrack with Dashboard Confessional is
That's
superior.
not one of the options. That's not one of the options. Into the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse?
Okay, let me look it up real quick, because yesterday we were talking about this, and yesterday we were talking about this, and I'm not going to play anything because I don't want to get flagged. But let me look it up real quick. Into the Spider-Verse.
Because for me, it's Across. I think Across's soundtrack is better.
What's Up Danger is great. Sunflower. I like Jaden's. I like Way Up. Start a Riot's great. Hide is good.
Andrew was telling me before that he agreed that he said that Into was better. He said Into had the better soundtrack.
Yeah, this is a really good soundtrack. Into the Spider-Verse.
My point was more Into the Spider-Verse. For me, the soundtrack was way more memorable. I couldn't, off the top of my head, tell you any song that was on Across.
I could immediately, because they did such a good job in weaving the songs into the movie, and Across, I think was way more melded with the score. So it's really hard to differentiate.
But they had some that, like at the party with the Hispanic music, that's on the soundtrack. That was produced by Metro Boomin.
Yeah, I just still think like Across the Spider-Verse. So Metro Boomin presents.
You have Annihilate. Am I Dreaming? Hummingbird.
Annihilate's good. The best song on the whole one is probably Am I Dreaming? And Hummingbird's probably the next best song.
The one that plays at his dad's party is called
Most
Silk
of these,
and Cologne. Silk and Cologne. Silk and Cologne. Oh,
still, I don't even, like, you're talking about it and I can't even recognize it. And I watched the movie last night.
I was telling him because the storytelling has gotten so much better that, like you said, I like how you said it. It weaves into the score.
It just weaves into the story a lot more. That it's like Metro Boomin, what he's doing is different. It doesn't mean either one of them are bad. It just means, but I will say that, like, I love that the Spider-Man franchise has always had, not always, but oftentimes had a lot of really great music that's connected with it. That first Spider-Man movie soundtrack, cheesy, make fun of it all you want, but Chad Kroeger, and then the guy from Saliva singing Hero.
It's Saliva.
If you look, there's the VHS behind you for Spider-Man, and it says bonus. Contains the music video, it contains the music video Hero. There's a hero to save us.
It's so good. Like you've got that. You got Sum 41 on that one. You've got Stone Sour. You got the Strokes. You got the Hives. You got Theory of a Dead Man. You got Pete Yorn. There's so much good stuff, and you got a Danny Elfman score. So and then Spider-Man 2 soundtrack is Dashboard and Yellow Card.
See, but I'm a sucker for,
and you got Maroon 5 when Maroon 5 was good.
I'm a sucker though.
Like Maroon 5 now sucks. Like they're terrible. Like, but like Maroon 5 then.
Agreed.
But I'm a sucker for people for like the soundtrack that gets made specifically for the movie, like Black Panther, like Into, like Across,
Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, not Guardians of the Galaxy.
What do you mean no?
Those were all songs that were already in existence.
Come on.
I see what you're saying.
Come on. You on the Spider-Man 2 soundtrack, they have Meant to Live by Switchfoot. Come on, right there. Out of the two of them, which one's better? Out of those two, it's Into. No contest, in my opinion.
I disagree. It's
That's
Across.
Great. That's why it's your opinion.
It's Across,
and it's wrong. No, I'm just kidding.
If I could swing through the city, with Gwen Stacy to Mona Lisa or Hummingbird, I'm having a good day.
You have a really weird way of quantifying things. Of like, for example, how you picked Team Jacob last week. Like your whole quantification of all of that. You have a really weird way of like even how you picked your Christmas movies. My brain is trying to work objectively to pick out what is good and like memorable, and yours is all like if I had a girl on my arm, this is what
No,
I'd
it's
do.
not.
What does
it.
any
No,
girl? Gwen Stacy.
True at all.
Every time it's all if I had a girl on my
If I had a
arm,
girl
I'd be
on my
listening to
Dude, you're like,
all
you
the
are.
stars. Yeah, okay, that'd be you. Like, I don't know. Like, seriously. Like, ridiculous. Like, every time it's got to be some sort of, like, it just seems so desperate.
Forever alone.
What is up, movie lovers, and welcome back to the Pass the Popcorn podcast, the only show where the popcorn is fresh, the takes are hot, and we have a ton of Spider-Man stuff this week. I'm your host, Nick, here with my co-host, Rob.
With great power comes great responsibility.
And we are so incredibly excited that you're here joining us today. Whether you're a casual moviegoer or a diehard cinephile, this is the show for you. So make sure you grab your snacks, find your seat. The show starts right now.
I think we need to have snacks in here more often. We don't have enough snacks.
I'm
Our
literally-
producer is loaded up with snacks right
It's loaded
now.
up with snacks.
But I noticed how you didn't get anything. You didn't even text us if
I
we wanted anything.
literally did.
He did text. He did text us this time.
You did
He
not
said,
answer.
I'm going to Maverick. Does anybody want anything? And I said, no, I'm okay.
Hold on, I don't have it. Oh man, I missed it. Dang it.
He subconsciously didn't want to respond because the last time you brought him something from Maverick, it was Pepsi.
Yeah, it was Pepsi. Still to this day, I'm not sure that I believe anything.
Last week, we did an episode on Twilight.
Hey, can I do a plug real quick? Mountain Dew Zero Sugar, Baja,
we're not
Cabo Citrus, Tropical Citrus Punch.
We are not sponsored by
This
the
is
Coca-Cola.
not sponsored.
That's Pepsi, actually. We're not sponsored by the Pepsi.
But I would love to be. Hey, do you got one over there, too? Oh, yeah. Sound effects. This is good stuff. Oh, my gosh, man. I feel kind of trashy drinking it, but it's good. It's good. All right. Now we're through the important stuff. Let's get to the stinking episode.
Last week, we did an episode on Twilight. We spun the wheel, landed on Across the Spiderverse, and we decided to do Into and Across.
Yeah, because if you're going to do one...
Because talking about Across without really bringing up Into is...
Yes, absolutely. You need to talk about both. And we will, towards the end of this episode, as we have been doing recently, we will do a ranking of virtually every related Spider-Man project.
Yep,
So
you have-
all of the... so we're talking MCU Spider-Man projects.
Talking
we're talking Toby. We're
Talking
talking
Andrew.
Andrew. We're talking
Miles.
Sonyverse.
We're talking garbage.
Yes, all that stuff.
It's pronounced garbage.
Garbage, yes.
It's
the
pronounced
garbage.
Morbius.
Yes. It's pronounced.
Madam Web.
Madam Web is what it's pronounced. All
Pronounced
of them.
Kraven.
So
I'm very interested to see what you're going to rank that, Nick, since Sydney Sweeney's in it.
yes.
We'll have to wait and see at the end of the episode. We'll have to wait and see at the end of the episode.
gives it 2 thumbs up.
But no. This week we're not gonna go crazy in depth with this one because there's just so much. There's so much, but we're gonna go through them because these are two phenomenal Spider-Man films.
When did Homecoming come out? Which year?
2016.
2017.
2017.
2017.
He first appeared in 2016.
So
in Civil
we
War.
got Homecoming, and then we got into.
Yes.
So okay, so I want to just do a little math here, some years, and it'll be good for the audience too. We got, we had already done the Toby era.
Mm-hmm.
We had already done
Andrew.
the Andrew era. There was a dead period, not long, but a decent size.
It was getting
dead period.
they were about to lose the rights.
They were getting close to losing the rights. Sony's working incredibly hard. One thing for you, the viewer, to understand about the Spider-Man, just like every other franchise. Here, give me some camera on this one. One thing to understand about any one of these times you're working with a Spider-Man is a product. He is a product. And he is a very lucrative product. Just like for WB, Batman is a lucrative product. He makes a lot of money for them in toys, in comics, and anything that's connected in any way. Well, Spider-Man is owned by Sony, Columbia Pictures, and therefore, if they don't use them every so many years,
Every 5 years.
it is, it's if you don't use it,
You lose it.
you lose it.
It reverts back to Marvel, which is now owned by Disney.
Which is now owned by Disney, and so they get it. So that brings us, we get through the Toby era, we get through that era, We get 2017. We get Tom Holland
Because
in Homecoming.
They made a deal. Marvel really wanted Spider-Man in the
Civil
MCU.
War.
They really wanted him in Civil War because he was such a huge part of Civil War in the comics,
Which was 16.
which came out in 2016.
Yes.
And so
Okay.
they struck a deal where
Great
Marvel
Connective tissue there. Fantastic.
where Marvel could use Spider-Man because Disney and Marvel, they owned the TV rights, they owned
everything.
they owned pretty much everything except for movie and game rights was owned by Sony. And so they ended up doing that, but then into that they were like,
And do you know who owns the theme park rights?
Universal.
Yeah, Universal actually owns the theme park rights, which is wild. That works that way. So we get 17 that, and then 18 we get Spider-Verse.
And then 19 we get Far From Home.
Far From Home. Then
COVID.
Then COVID.
Then COVID.
Then COVID.
Then COVID.
And then 21 did we get?
No Way Home.
No Way Home.
No Way Home.
In 21 and 20, which like along with Top Gun Maverick revived theaters.
Big time.
Big
time. And then
the
2020
the credit mainly goes to Top Gun Maverick because it was the first to do it, but then No Way Home really took it to
and 2023 was Across.
And we were supposed to get
In 2024 we were supposed to get Beyond.
and we didn't get it because they hate us.
No, we didn't end up getting it. I've been asked this. I said, why is it taking so long? Well, it started out with there was a writer's strike.
Mitchell's versus the Machines.
It was first Mitchell's versus the Machines. Then there was a writer's strike. Then there was a animator strike. Then there's been behind the scenes issues with Shamik Moore. It's like just that one's less confirmed. Shamik Moore's just been a little bit of a weirdo trying to hit on somebody else's wife.
Shamik Moore, I'd never say anything bad about you. If you hear wind of this, he has a lot of hot takes about you. I've never said a bad thing about you.
A lot of hot takes about him. I have one hot take, and it was when I went to meet him at FanX, he was not that nice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, dude, I wouldn't blame anyone for being not nice to you.
Okay. I did meet him at the airport. He was cool at the airport. He was cool at the airport.
On that same trip?
Yeah, same trip.
Oh, okay. Were you going back to Arizona or something?
It was when I got here.
Oh, when you got here.
I heard him and I went, "Are you Shamik Moore?" He went, "Yeah." And I went, "Oh, dude, I'll see you at FanX." He went, "I'll see you there." Nice. Then at FanX, not nice, and I was so confused.
He was like, "Get out of my face."
Paid $80 to
nerd.
have him sign my PlayStation, and he
took that money though. He
did.
took
He
that
took
money
that
though.
money.
You know, he got dumped by Haley Steinfeld that same day, so that's why he was in a bad mood.
But no, that's why. And then you also see Sony Animation with what they did with Into the Spider-Verse and the innovations that they did animation wise, because they patented for that movie alone 6 brand new ways of animating things. They've now used that in Mitchell's versus the Machines, K-pop Demon Hunters. Wasn't there one more? Goat.
And hey, let me tell you something. Prior to that, Sony Animation was quite the powerhouse with movies like Peter Rabbit and the Hotel Transylvania series and the Angry Birds movie and Surf's
So
Up.
good. Yeah.
Well, hang on. Surf's Up.
Blockbuster.
You can't hate on Surf's Up.
Stop it.
Surf's Up is amazing.
Surf's Up is
great.
Surf's Up is fine. It's fine. I'm not going to hate on it. But yeah, this is also the studio that released Smurfs and Emoji Movie. Since Spider-Verse, we have gotten Mitchell's versus the Machines, which is incredible if you've not watched it. We've got Across, we've got K-pop Demon Hunters, we got Goat. The Goat is great. So much fun. So Sony completely rebranded, did something totally different. Into was kind of their foray into it. And I got to say, mad respect, seriously.
And they
really good.
really shook up the animation space, because now you get movies like Mutant Mayhem.
Yeah, you get Turtles. Where's the turds at? Right here.
You get Mutant Mayhem, where there's companies that aren't going for that Disney animation look.
Yes.
And instead they're like, oh, people are okay with it being a little different.
stinks. No, it's fine. It's really good stuff.
They're like, we're okay with it being a little different, as long as it looks cool and the story is good.
I would even say, looking at Hoppers, they borrowed a little bit.
Yeah, they did.
It's still very Pixar, but it's not as Pixar as previously.
It looks similar to Mitchell's versus the Machines.
It has a feeling of like a little bit of a watercolor in it.
Pixar does really good with. They have they'll have movies that they make where it's strictly them testing out new animation stuff. Lightyear.
Yeah.
They're doing it just
it
strictly.
did not work.
They did. Well, no, they're doing. Lightyear looks great.
Looks great.
Looks great.
Terrible movie.
Terrible movie. But that's one where they went, we have all this new animation stuff we could try. What do we do? And they were like, well, what if we did it for a Buzz Lightyear movie?
And it's all like, let's make the most boring story ever about Buzz Lightyear.
But the animation is crazy because it was.
But it's just not even watchable.
Yeah, but Pixar.
it's
But
so
that's
boring.
what Pixar will do. They'll be like, hey, we came out with this new animation thing, so we're gonna make a movie for it.
Yeah.
That's where you get some of the more forgettable Pixar movies, like Lightyear.
Yeah.
But you don't get those pushes without things like Into the Spider-Verse. So let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Because-
Let's go into the Spiderverse.
Oh God.
I was obviously going for a high five.
I'm sorry. What before we get fully diving into it, I want to tell you, because we talked about this, you said you knew this. The story of Miles Morales is so incredibly cool because without a singular scene in Community, we don't get Miles Morales.
Yeah.
There was no plans for a diverse Spider-Man until there's a scene where Donald Glover gets out of bed wearing a Spider-Man shirt, and this was in the time when they were like between Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland.
Yes.
And everybody was like, oh, get Donald Glover to be Spider-Man. But Spider-Man wasn't black.
Yeah.
And so then Brian Michael Bendis started writing a comic where there was a black Spider-Man inspired by Donald Glover from that one
Black
scene.
and Puerto Rican.
Black and Puerto
Rican. Thank you very much.
I was going to get to that.
Yeah. So,
You literally skipped it.
We got to talk about his mom. I've got to talk
gosh.
about his mom, the Puerto
the
Rican mom.
Aruban would be
Hey
guys.
But that's how we ended up getting Miles Morales, because Miles Morales, as popular as he is a very new character.
Very new, but also part of the reason that he is such a great character is I would venture to argue that in the modern era of Spider-Man and everything, I believe that Miles Morales is possibly more relatable than even Peter Parker.
Yeah, because he's younger.
Yeah, and
Peter Parker now
but
is
I think just
an
I think
adult.
in the modern era of the complications of his past, his family, and all those kind of things, Peter Parker is a classic character and will never be overshadowed. But Miles Morales in the modern age, incredibly relatable. Like to anybody can watch and be like, oh yeah, like I just, you can really connect as well, really connect with a younger audience. So he's a great character, and you can feel like when you're watching it, you feel like something that is not dated at all. It is very very modern take on all of it, and it's great. It's great. I'm not gonna hate on either of these movies because they're both really
phenomenal.
good movies. So and it's probably gonna be a lot of us agreeing with each other. Which is going to be
A welcome change.
a welcome change from recently, because there's been a lot of.
Yeah, so we start with Into the
Wanted to rip your
Spider-Verse.
throat out recently.
We start with Miles Morales, a half black, half Puerto Rican
Yes, thank
kid
you.
from Brooklyn,
Thank you.
who is very bright. He's very smart. He gets into a private school or a boarding school, Brooklyn Visions Academy.
Yes.
Like what I also love about this, and like most of the Spider-Man stuff, is they're not shying away from comic book stuff with it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I love too the kickoff where it's showing you, it's really establishing it all with the Chris Pine. With the Chris Pine character. I know we're not doing a like deep dive into this because we can't with two movies, but I was telling you last night, I love Chris Pine's voice
As Peter Parker.
and Spider-Man. He's so good, but I swear to you, he sounds just like him being Captain Kirk.
Yeah.
Like he's as quippy as Captain Kirk.
He is, and in quite literally both of these movies, he is the quippiest Spider-Man.
Oh, he's so quippy. He's so good.
Are you mad at me? It seems like you're mad at me.
Yeah, it seems like you're mad. He's so quippy. He's got this great, but it's very much that same kind of like it's what he delivered so much in Dungeons and Dragons, which I know we've talked about that movie. And if you watch our podcast and have not seen Dungeons and Dragons, you are missing out on a really great movie.
You're not a true fan.
Seriously, it's so good. And Chris Pine is great in that, but like him in Wonder Woman, him
Him not in Wonder Woman 1984 because that movie was.
well, yeah. I mean, he shows up in Wonder Woman.
He shows up.
1984, but
He's
like,
there.
Yeah. We could tell he's a saving grace. But you take us into the Miles story a little bit.
Yeah, so Miles is a kid with his mom. Oh gosh, what's his mom's name? I know his. Oh gosh,
Oh my gosh. Rio.
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 I was gonna say Rita. but that's somebody from the church. I was like, I know
Yeah,
it's
that is
Shout
not
out.
Rita.
That is a lady. Shout out.
Rita.
Shout
No,
out
Rio
Rita.
and Captain Morales.
No. What's his name?
I just know
It's
the
Captain Morales.
It's Captain Morales. I quite literally am not sure if they ever say his name. Say his first name.
I'm sure he has a first name.
I know he has a first name, but I'm pretty sure they only say Captain Morales in the movie.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for you to tell me it since you wanted
It's
to.
also not Morales.
Okay.
What?
Moving on. Go on.
Okay.
Morales is his mom's last name.
Yes.
The Puerto Rican.
Yes.
The father has a different last name.
Okay.
Listen,
Can
you
we
keep
move
going.
on?
Yeah.
You keep bringing it up and you haven't said it. Are you going to say it?
No, go
Okay.
No, we're moving on. We're moving on.
And he is leaving his house to go to stay at Brooklyn Visions Academy because he splits time between his parents' house and there.
Yes.
While he's there, he's trying to get kicked out because he misses home.
Yeah.
He misses home. And they show him doing a true or false quiz where he goes, oh, he got a 0. And it's like, you know, if a blind person did a true or false quiz, they'd get at least 50%.
Yes.
He goes, so the only way to get all the wrong answers is to know all the correct ones. Showing us that Miles is a very smart kid. Miles is really smart. But he is being weighed down by all these expectations from his dad, from his mom, from the people at Brooklyn Visions. And the only person he finds solace in is his Uncle Aaron.
Yeah.
Played by
Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala Ali.
Yeah, and honestly, he feels a sense of freedom around him.
It's
that
Jeffrey
he-
Davis.
Yes.
that-
Jefferson.
Jefferson Davis. Yeah, there we go.
I was
And
waiting
then, yeah, Officer Davis. Yes, because I remember seeing it on the wall. Rest in power. Yeah. But we have, we get to this, and like, Uncle Aaron is expertly. I mean, honestly, all the voice cast from Dad, Brian Tyree Henry. Every one of them are really, really great. But Uncle Aaron is great. It's all about freedom and identity. He relates to him the most, and his dad and Uncle Aaron have a complicated relationship.
Because they used to be thick as thieves.
Yeah.
Would you say? And then Jefferson decided he was going to go be a cop.
And that's what's very different about Peter Parker versus Miles Morales is Miles, while he is struggling a little bit with expectations, all these things, Peter is a story of a person who feels like he doesn't belong like anywhere. Mm-hmm. Whereas Miles is very much a story about someone who very much feels like he belongs and has a community.
Miles is driven by community.
He's driven by community, whereas he is like Peter is solo driven to be this like savior character because of what has happened in his life. So really juxtaposed to be two very, very different characters, and which makes it way more interesting. And I do love that every time they introduce, like from Chris Pine to everybody through, they go back to that same
comic Kyle.
format.
When they started,
The-
let's start this over.
Let's start this over.
Let's do this one last
Let's
time.
do this
Let's
one
do this
last time.
That's
I
it.
love that. I think that's so good. It continues to
Even into the
take you
across, right?
Into a cross.
even
It carries
acro-
into a cross.
Yeah, it just continues to take you further and further down the rabbit hole of these stories, but keep you somewhat grounded in, okay, hey, we're going to talk about this person, but we're not leaving all of this story.
Here's a quick intro so you know who this is, instead of it just being like, hey, here's this person.
Okay, side note, before we get further into this movie is not directed by these guys, but it is produced by Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's just do it. We didn't do this at the very beginning, and I feel like since we both saw the movie, we can talk about it. Phil Lord and Chris Miller, the directors of 21 and 22 Jump Street, which are both great movies.
Lego movie.
Lego Movie. What else?
Clone High.
Clone High. They've done tons of great
They've
stuff.
done so much
They've
stuff.
done, they were supposed to do Solo. Solo would have been incredible.
Solo would have been great.
With them, it would have been great. They made a movie called Project Hail Mary, a project they've been working on for 6 years. They had the script to Project Hail Mary before the writer even finished it and released it to the public.
That's crazy.
That's
insane.
It's insane. They had it first because after he made The Martian, he released that one. Let me tell you something. If you're watching this, go and watch Project Hail Mary in the theaters. You got to go see it.
You have
It
to.
is such a good movie. It is so excellent. It's longer. It doesn't feel long. It's so fast. Did you love Project Hail
Oh,
Mary?
it was great. It was such a blast. Ryan Gosling is one of my favorite actors, and he's just good.
Well,
He's just good. He's funny.
And I mentioned, he's so funny, and the characters are great and everything. But there's a lot of heart to that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I mention that, to just take us right back into this, is Phil Lord and Chris Miller, they just Like whether they're doing a series about where it's a reboot of an old TV show like 21 Jump Street, or it's any one of these projects like Lego Movie, they somehow make you care about something you don't feel like you should care about that much.
Mm-hmm.
And they really make you go, oh man, like, because at this point, I know a lot of people were feeling when Tom Holland's, thank God for the connection to Civil War, that helped a lot of things. But a lot of people were feeling like, do we really need more Spider-Man movies? We've already had all these Spider-Man movies. And they're reminding you in this movie, Into, that, yes, we absolutely need more Spider-Man movies. And we need different Spider-Man stories.
Yes.
And it's great.
It's fantastic.
It's so good.
Sensational.
Sensational movie.
Stop it.
Do you want
I know where you're going. You stop it right now, sir.
I see where you're going. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Spectacular.
Spectacular, some might say.
Oh my gosh, really, really good. And then
Superior in many ways.
Talk about. I know we're jumping around a lot, but can we just talk about how giant Kingpin is in this?
Kingpin's so freaking big.
He's just too big. Like
just-
if I gave one thing, it'd be like Kingpin. Like guys,
he
did
fills a
need
doorway.
to be- he's as like when he walks into the subway. He's
like
as big as the inside, and he's as square as the inside of the subway.
It's insane. He is
Voiced by Liev Schreiber, who's great as the
Fantastic.
voice of him.
Sabretooth from X-Men Origins.
You get all of these interesting because Into tell them what Into is based on, like animated series wise, comic series
Oh,
wise.
so Into is based. There is a comic called Spiderverse, and it's different from this movie because this movie is more tied into the Ultimate Spider-Man comics.
Yes.
This is very much the Ultimate Universe from character design to
That I did not know, and
Yeah.
I found that very interesting actually.
It is tied to the Ultimate Comics universe, tied from it's spoiler the way that Spider-Man dies and is replaced by Miles Morales. That happened in the Ultimate Comics universe.
Even the design of the villain.
The design of the villains.
Yeah, to being these really massive, big villains like Goblin.
Goblin is an actual goblin.
Goblin.
He's an
Yes.
actual goblin. He's
Doc Ock is a
huge.
woman.
Which is interesting because Amazing
Doc Ock is a
Spider-Man,
woman,
the
yes.
movie series, their character design was also based off of the Ultimate Comics because Electro's blue
Electro's
in the
blue.
Ultimate Comics. Rhino
It
and
just
everything
really
is
works
more,
in animation.
Yeah, it works a lot better in animation.
Yeah.
And so this is the start of that. So they're combining really Miles' origin story in the Ultimate Comics and the Spider-Verse comics. Granted, they're tweaking the Spider-Verse comics because they're focusing more on other stuff when we get into Across
Yeah.
to tie it what it seems like more into what's happening in the MCU.
Well, and the whole bugaboo of the whole story, the big issue is that Kingpin is working with a Doc Ock, a woman,
Olivia
Octavius,
Liv to her
and they
friends.
are building the super collider that's trying to basically ultimately bring back his family because his wife and his
Son died
in an accident. So they want to bring him back. Ultimately, there's this major collision. And I'm very simplifying this whole thing. Chris Pine's Spider-Man introduces DNA, which opens up all of this stuff.
All the Spider-Man.
It opens up Spider-Verse, and then you get all these guys show up that end up showing up later, and it just becomes this chaotic mess that comes later on. But you've got that going on, and you've got Miles' story going on at the same time, and they're both converging, but you have Miles and Gwen happening at the same time as that. It's like what do you call that? What do you call those
Venn
things?
diagram?
Venn diagram. It's like a Venn diagram of stories that all beautifully tie into each other and do really, really good, which ultimately leads to... do we want to fast forward to the team?
Yeah, so Miles gets bit. He goes back. Chris Pine's Peter Parker dies
Yes.
at the hands of Kingpin. But before he dies, he tells Miles, "Hey, you need to stop this collider.
Stop.
Promise me you'll stop the collider." He promises he'll stop. He goes, is trying to figure out how he's going to do this. Breaks the goober.
Yes.
And then he runs into Peter B. Parker, which is played by Jake Johnson.
Jake Johnson,
Who is
masterfully done.
Massively done. And Peter B. Parker is supposed to be the Amazing Spider-Man from the 616 universe. So
Yes.
the main comic universe Spider-Man.
Like Earth.
Like
616.
Earth
our
616.
world.
Earth, so the main continuity within the comics.
Yes, exactly.
Is 616.
That would be the best way to say it.
So he is that Spider-Man. And he explains how he got brought here. And then they're like, okay, we got to figure out how to make a new goober. So we're going to go back into Alchemax. And in finding Alchemax, Gwen Stacy, Spider-Gwen shows up, which we now see her in her outfit.
You're like, oh yeah, it's this girl that he just had her hair ripped out. He couldn't figure out his powers. Like this guy's just kind of everything's falling apart. His family's wondering all these kind of things. But
It's a puberty thing.
It's a puberty thing. It's all his identity, everything else. It's just like a lot of stuff going on. And ultimately, it leads them to have to go see Aunt May.
Aunt May, which Peter B is not ready for because his Aunt May had passed away.
Voiced by Aunt May, voiced by Lily Tomlin, who is great as Aunt May in this one. She's kind of quippy and...
You see where Peter gets it
Yeah, you can see where he gets it from. She's got an attitude.
Oh, great. It's Liv.
It's great. It's Liv. Like, she's so, like, unserious, and they end up going to this place because,
Go to his spider bunker.
They go to his spider bunker.
Where we see the spider car, all these different suits.
And we're introduced to?
We're introduced to Spider-Ham, Penny Parker, and Spider-Noir.
Yeah, so Spider-Man Noir, voiced by Nicolas Cage.
Spider-Ham, voiced by John Mulaney. And I don't know who voices Penny.
I do not know who voices Penny. I don't know either. But
she is very anime.
Yeah, so Penny, like anime, Spider-Ham is chaotic, Looney Tunes-esque.
Voiced by Kimiko Glenn.
Kimiko Glenn, yeah. Spider-Man Noir.
Black and white.
Very
dramatic.
Well,
Where I
it's
go,
classic,
the wind follows.
Like classic noir. And I'm very excited to see. Are you excited about the Amazon Prime?
I am excited.
Yeah, I think it'll be really
I need
cool.
everybody to stop acting like it's going to be this version of Spider-Man Noir and get upset about it and realize that, hey, it's not.
Yeah, I think comic book fans in general need to just kind of let artists make art and stop being so
triggered by everything.
Triggered by everything not being exactly what you want. Like sometimes you cannot like it's not going to always turn out the way you want it to, but can they make something interesting? So you get all these guys together.
And they unfairly, I said this last night when we were rewatching it, Miles has had his powers for like a day, and they all start bullying him like, well, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? And I looked at Rob and I said, could any of you do that the literal second you got bit?
Here's my argument against you on that. Okay, here's where I'm going to say I do disagree with you. Because I thought about it last night as we were watching Across. Here's the problem. He's been told by Chris Pine's Spider-Man that you have to promise me you're going to take care of this. So he goes and promises he's going to take care of this. He's not prepared for it. Everybody in that room knows he is not prepared for it. So the questions they're asking are actually way more have to do with his lack of preparedness than they are, do you have those abilities? They're ultimately just challenging him and going, hey, dude, you are not ready yet. You're not ready for this responsibility. I don't think they're being mean. I think they're genuinely going, Miles, we really like you, and we want to see you survive, and Kingpin and these guys could kill you.
Yeah, but then there's no offering up of help. There's just beat down, beat down, beat down, beat down.
No, of course he's offering help. Every single one of them offer to stay instead. All of them offer to do it. Why? Because that's the core of, like I said, with the Peter Parker Spider-Man, is that Spider-Man's a solo act. Like, he just takes care of business on his own. So Peter B. Parker or Gwen or anyone, they don't want to work as a team. What they want to do is, which also what makes No Way Home so interesting, because look, No Way Home, Spider-Man cannot get anything done doing his own thing. But when three Spider-Men come together,
I'll do it myself.
Oh yes, like it's great. It's really, really good. Like but because Spider-Man is a solo act, and each of them are trying to be a solo act, and when they start working together, they make something happen. But ultimately, through that, they teach some stuff to him. So I think you're being a little harsh on the team.
I can see.
I think you can agree with me a little bit.
I agree with you a little bit,
yeah.
But there is still when I say offering help, I mean, okay. Like, yes, they're offering to stay, but there's none of them have done what Chris Pines was going to do, where he said, I'm going to show you the ropes. They're all like, oh, you just kind of, can you do this? No? All right, then we don't need you.
Yeah, but Peter B. Parker's literally showing him the ropes. He's actually showing him the ropes. He's been, like, walking through things.
I know. He's the only one that has his back in that situation.
But he also doesn't think he's qualified. Remember, that's the whole arc of Peter B. Parker.
Yes. He doesn't think he's qualified. Like, even at like the very end, when Miles lets go of him, he's going back to his world, and he's like, am I going to mess it up? Mm-hmm. Like, it's his whole arc. And so I just think all of them come from these worlds where they're solo acts. and they're like, okay, if we want to save our world, we have to save this world.
Mm-hmm.
And if that means one of us has to die, we have to do it. So I don't want to belabor the whole thing. But I thought about it last night after you said that, and I was like, maybe Nick's right. And then I thought about it more, and I was all, Nick is wrong.
Okay.
He's dead wrong.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
after that, Miles is beaten down.
Yes.
And he goes. He
I'm
leaves.
not scared
Of the dark.
All right, there we go.
And then he leaves. He wants to go see his Uncle Aaron, where he discovers Uncle Aaron is the Prowler.
Again, proof that the soundtrack is better. Okay, there we go. See?
He finds out that Uncle Aaron is the Prowler, and he runs away. He comes back to where the Spider-Man arc is like, has anybody seen Miles? What's going on?
Also again showing how much of a noob he is, because he literally has all these people chasing him, and he's all, "Hey, let me go back to my family's lair." Like, he just doesn't know what he's doing, and so every one of them questioning him is totally fair, because he is outmatched so big time right now. This is the development and growth,
Yeah, okay.
an origin story of a character.
There's hardcore origin story.
Yes,
That's what Nicolas Cage says.
yes, hardcore origin story. Yes, absolutely.
He says, so he comes back to them, and like, were you followed? He goes, I don't think so. My uncle's the Prowler. Then they all come busting in. That's where we also get Aunt May's. Oh, great, it's Liv.
How great it's Liv. I know you love that line.
Because Olivia Octavia says only her friends call her Liv. So it shows that there's apparently some sort of friendship or relationship. They know each other from somewhere. You were saying?
No, he just said dang. He just was agreeing.
And then we get this really cool fight between Tombstone, Doc Ock,
Yeah.
Prowler, Scorpion.
I like that fight scene a lot. That's a
fight scene's
great
really-
fight scene.
Can you take it outside?
Yeah, you just take it outside, and I love like the matchups. I love that they put Scorpion and Penny Parker.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a great matchup. I love that you have Spider-Man Noir
Tombstone
and Tombstone, black and white characters. Ultimately, great matchup. You end up having Spider-Ham fighting Goblin. Who do you fight?
He's not in that house. I don't even know who. I think he's helping Penny for the most part. And then you have Spider-Gwen and Peter B fighting Prowler.
Oh yes,
And Doc Ock.
yes, and Doc Ock. So it's a good scene. It's a great
And
scene.
ultimately, Prowler ends up catching Miles, taking off his mask, seeing that it's his nephew. And Kingpin shoots him.
Because Kingpin is brutal.
And then Miles swings away with him.
Very excited for Daredevil season 2. Very excited.
And then Miles swings away with his uncle, and his uncle tells him, "You're the best of all of us.
Yeah.
You're on your way. Just keep doing what you're doing." Because he ultimately wanted to be a role model.
Doing your thing.
Yeah, he wanted to be a role model for Miles. He wanted Miles to know that he could do great things.
Yeah.
And he didn't ever want to hold him back with his life decisions.
Which ultimately leads to, like, we kind of jump back and forth a little bit, but like you're saying, they're being really hard on him. He has to realize that he's got to kind of figure himself out here first.
Then Venom strike me right now on command. Turn
Yeah.
invisible on command.
Yeah, he's got to figure out how to control his power. He's got to figure out where it comes from. He's got to figure out all of these kind of things, which leads to the
Heartfelt moment with his dad.
and ultimately the loss of his uncle.
And we get the cool montage of then him figure, like Miles or Peter tells him it's a leap of faith.
It's a
He
leap of
finally
faith. You get
goes,
the black suit. You get the spray paint on there. The
What's
leap
up,
of
danger?
faith.
What's up, Danger?
Oh, what's
the
up,
upside
danger?
down fall where he's going down but
Iconic.
rising. through
One of the most
screen.
iconic, beautiful scenes ever put to animation. I think it's a top 10. I think you put that scene is just as good as the opening sequence of Lion King. And the opening sequence of Lion King is one of the greatest animated scenes ever made, and that scene is just as good as that. That's how good that scene is. Gosh, that's such a good scene, man. I get chills when I think about it. I love that scene.
So leading up to this, the Spider Gang, is what Nicolas Cage calls them, or the Spider Gang.
Spider Gang.
And they're infiltrating Kingpin's place to destroy the Collider. They end up starting to fight with everybody, and then out of nowhere, an invisible hand starts beating up Doc Ock.
Yep.
And it's Miles. He's doing it on command.
He's got it. They figured it out. There's this major battle, and I mean, ultimately,
That is also one of the...
It's great.
That's a great...
What do you think's better, that or the battle in the...
That one.
That one?
that
I
one.
really love the neighborhood battle. I think the neighborhood battle is really, really cool. But I think part of the reason I like the neighborhood battle a little bit more is it's a little bit easier to follow.
Yes. There's a lot going on.
There's a
in the other one.
lot going on in that final sequence, but it's also so visually stunning. Everything you're looking at here, as we're talking cities are colliding and everything is happening here, that I never felt lost in that sequence, but I really like the grounded nature of the neighborhood fight a little bit more. But incredible. Ultimately, the end point is these guys have to all get home, which they do.
And then Peter B says, I'm going to stay. And Miles says, you got to go home, man.
Yep.
I got this. How do I know I'm not going to mess it up again? You won't.
You won't.
It's a leap of faith.
It's a leap of faith.
He drops him into the portal and he fights Kingpin. He throws Kingpin, massive human being,
Massive.
into the button.
It's like me throwing this house. Like that's him. Like,
Into the button, strings him up. He saves the day. He's in the final one. He swings, and one of my favorite end lines of the movie is when he says, because this was right after Stan Lee passed away.
Yes.
This is one of Stan Lee's final cameos in anything.
it was.
He's swinging, and one of the big things that Stan Lee said about Spider-Man is the reason Spider-Man wears a mask, especially in a day and age where if you watch any superhero movie, pretty much nobody wears a mask. There's no secret identities anymore. The whole point of Spider-Man wearing a mask and having a secret identity was Stan Lee wanted it to be that anybody could be in the mask. And that's a big point in this movie is Miles says, you could wear the mask.
Which
Anyone
Ryan
can wear the
Johnson
mask.
tried to do with The Last Jedi and Star Wars. And everybody rejected it.
It's not as
And I will stand upon that I think The Last Jedi is slept on and a very good Star Wars movie.
It's a good thing it's not on the wheel, man.
That's a conversation for another day. I think
But
Last Jedi
that is
great.
into the Spider-Verse, and then it leads right in really well to Across the Spider-Verse.
Well, and honestly, we're talking, how many different types of animation do you say was used in this movie?
This one they patented 6 different
Patented
ones,
6 different kinds.
which means they invented 6 new ways of animation.
We're talking
for this
2D
movie.
plus 3D. We're talking comic textures. You're talking on-screen text, which is so cool how they make it look. You're talking frame rate manipulation that's literally changing from scene to scene to scene.
Miles Morales starts out and like what looks to be about 24 frames, and when he gets his powers and he starts doing everything, he's more fluid and he's more 60 FPS.
Which is incredible.
crazy.
Like, what a great detail. Incredible. It's amazing. What would you rank Into the Spider-Verse?
I believe I have it, and it stays at around 4.5.
Yeah. Into the Spider-Verse to me is 5. It is a perfect.
It might be. I think it's 1 or 2 on my Spider-Man list.
Yeah.
Of Spider-Man movies.
I over constant revisions because my love for Spider-Man 2. And I have a deep love for Spider-Man 2. The more and more I watch it, the more and more I think Into is the absolute best Spider-Man movie ever made. I think it is the best. I have just watched them both. I've watched that one and 2 and Across a lot. And I love Spider-Man 2, Sam Raimi's immensely. But this movie is it just doesn't miss a beat. The pacing is perfect. Everything. It's just so stinking good. And it's an absolute classic. So love it. Which leads into
Across the Spider-Verse, which had some things. We had COVID, some other stuff going on, but it ended up coming out 2023. This one opens, which I didn't realize until watching it again yesterday, that they show moments from the entire movie in the opening sequence.
Real quickly unpack everything, but they're going to establish very, very quickly at the beginning of this that that Gwen is going to have as much of an emotional arc as Miles is on some level. That she is, instead of her being a sub-character, she is like a co-character.
She's a co-lead.
She's a co-lead in this one. She's incredibly, and I don't think that that's just because Haley Steinfeld's a great voice actress and great actress. I think it's because both of them have great stories, and I'm really excited to see where they take it in the next one, because I think they'll probably unpack even more, and we might even get a little bit more Miguel motivation in the third one. Do you think we'll get some Miguel motivation?
I think we kind of have to.
We have to.
Because otherwise he's just
Well,
A
you asked
lot.
me. You asked me like, what's the question you asked me yesterday, in regards to Across about villain?
Oh, who's the villain of
Who's
the
the
movie?
villain of the movie? And I mean, you could say Spot, but I believe the villain of Across the Spider-Verse is
Miguel.
Miguel. It's Miguel. Although I made a really crazy hot take yesterday and really made
it
you
was
mad.
absolutely insane.
What was it?
I told him there you could make an argument that Miles is the villain.
He's absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Because he is messing every single thing up, and he never takes anyone seriously. And it's like you're showing him he is not matured, so he is constantly causing problems, and he's acting emotionally.
I think there's some feet.
I don't think he's genuinely a.
I don't think
villain.
he's not the antagonist. I think he is the hero's foil. He is both the hero and his own foil.
Oh yeah, he's the hero's foil. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Put it on this one. Put it on this one. Put it on this one. Nope. No problem. And that's a terrible take.
That's
Absolutely terrible take.
I mean, the truth is Miles is incredibly problematic in this movie, but that's to be fair because the amount of expectations that are on him, because the expectations they had in the first movie have only risen. He's grown up a little bit. His parents are on him much harder now. His school wants
His dad's
so much
about to
more
be
from him.
captain.
His dad's about to be captain. He doesn't even understand yet what that even means. The whole concept of with great power comes great responsibility is not even settled in on him yet. He's massive expectation, and he's suffocating, man. The dude is in some ways self-imploding himself because it's just hard. It's just hard for the poor kid. Like he's just going through some stuff.
Well, and he really wants to. He really want. Like we can get into it. He really wants to. Because if you're paying attention when we get there.
Oh, you're saying that me and Andrew are not paying
No.
attention? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm talking about. Okay. You were gonna say, Andrew. I'll save my thing.
I was gonna say I would argue that part of the reason Miles is going through what he's going through in Across is because we were just talking about the difference between Miles and Peter Parker. In Across the Spider-Verse, Miles is going into Peter Parker's storyline
Yes.
of I no longer feel like I'm a part of a community,
Yeah.
and he's trying to do everything on his own.
Yeah. He is. He's naturally becoming who he's supposed to. Who he is meant to be.
Well, it's because the community that he so desperately wants to be a part of, they are all actively keeping him from being a part of that community.
Yeah.
He wants to be with his friends that he made in the first movie, and quite literally every single person apparently at that Spider Society goes, Miles Morales can't be here.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but you are coming at that from an angle of you just want Spider-Man to be able to go arm in arm with Gwen Stacy through the streets and then play a beautiful song, Hummingbird.
okay. So this one starts with we get a glimpse into Gwen's universe,
Yes.
which is very pastel, which is very like watercolor, which is very colorful, depending
It's
on
honestly
Gwen's mood.
looks like art.
It
It's like
does.
you're watching art.
Prettiest.
It
It
does.
is really beautiful.
She recaps the last movie and she talks more about her life in this one and her story.
It's almost like psychological, like the way that it is painted.
I don't think we're paying enough attention to the fact that Miguel and Kingpin have similar origins.
Oh yeah.
The loss of a wife and
Oh,
child.
yeah, that's an interesting take. That's interesting.
We haven't gotten to that part. yet.
We're getting, but it's
You're
good,
not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah,
All right.
he's creating the bridge.
You're creating the bridge. I appreciate it.
He's creating the bridge. That's good.
And then in one of the things, so with Spider Gwen, in the comics, it's Ghost Spider. Ghost Spider is what they call her.
Yes.
The comic is called Spider Gwen.
Spider
Just
Girl,
call her Spider Woman.
Spider Woman.
Yes, they call her
Spider
Spider Woman, but in her comic, they call her Ghost Spider.
Yeah.
And the comic title though is Spider. We want to pull it up. We can pull it up right now.
In the movie though, they call her.
Yeah,
Spider
I'm
Woman.
talking about. I just said in the comic.
Okay, go on.
Keep going, man. Keep going.
Andrew keeps throwing me off my game over there. In her world, her Peter Parker was her best friend. He ended up getting bullied, and then in order to fight back, he gets bullied by Ned Leeds. Funny enough, he gets bullied by Ned Leeds. He becomes the Lizard in her universe, and she ends up dying. She didn't know it was Peter. He got crushed by something.
Point of clarity: this is not happening in this right now. This is comic book you're talking.
No,
about.
this is in the movie.
This is in the movie.
This is in the movie. We see it. They show us in the movie.
Yeah, okay, all right. Sorry, you lost me there for a second.
Gwen's Peter Parker turns into Lizard.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. Exactly. They're doing her backstory.
Yes.
Yes. Exactly. Okay.
And her dad, the police captain, thinks that Spider-Woman killed Peter Parker, and he's upset, and he doesn't understand why Gwen isn't as upset as he is about the whole thing, because Peter Parker was her best friend.
Well, and she is. She is upset.
She is upset.
She just has a different role.
Different role in that whole situation. So
Yeah.
then we have a thing where she ends up going after a vulture, multiversal vulture, who looks like he's made of paper.
Yeah. It's
Da
great.
Vinci.
I want
in
to go to that
universe.
verse. I want to go to that universe. Like
Which-
it's like Da Vinci.
I don't know the exact number. The last movie they patented 6. This movie uses, I think it was 20 plus different styles, distinct styles of animation.
Wow.
For the different spider people, for the different universes, for the different, there's so many different, there's 6 main ones for the main characters.
Yeah.
But there is 20 plus different styles of animation in this movie. One of which we can get into was done by a kid.
Well, and I do know that there are over 200 unique spider designs in all of these major sequences. So you're going to see, like, there's a lot of unique creation happening here. Ultimately, you get to hers, and then you're going to get into Miles' life. And like I was saying, the pressure cooker of everything that he's in right now, all these things, which leads to the scene in the bodega.
Yes.
Yes.
Real quick prior to that, not to get too, but Gwen joins Miguel O'Hara and Jessica Drew after she exposes her identity to her dad. She leaves with them.
Yes.
And then we come to where Miles Morales is. He is stopping.
Which Miguel O'Hara is against bringing her in
at first.
Because it's not like... Was a canon event stopped then?
No,
a canon event wasn't stopped then. But he's very much about keeping the order of the multiverse.
which the canon is interesting, and I told you my thoughts on it last night. When we get to that scene, I can break it down a little bit more. But so we come to Miles Morales. His parents are meeting with his guidance counselor, and Miles is late because he is at a bodega trying to stop the Spot.
Yeah, and the Spot. And I'm going to jump around a little bit here. Spot, voiced by Jason Schwartzman. Starts
Fantastic.
Great. Really, really good in this. He starts as almost like a joke character.
Because the Spot is a joke character.
Yeah, a joke character.
He has holes.
By the end of this movie, which is ultimately the major setup because it's the underlying thing and it's going to lead into the next. By the end of this movie, he's a nightmare. Like he is officially going to be a major problem.
An Avengers level threat.
Avengers level threat. Yeah, he's going to be a huge problem.
Or a Spiderverse level threat.
Yeah, like a Spiderverse level threat. Like seriously, he is going to be an existential threat. And it is a great villain evolution. Really purposeful.
My holes
villain
weren't the
evolution.
problem. They're the solution.
Yes.
Did you stop talking about your holes? You're making everybody uncomfortable.
And his creation, which ultimately happens because Miles
hits him with a bagel.
Hits him with a bagel, but doesn't really take him very seriously. But 2, he was supposed to be taken care of by Gwen. Gwen was supposed to be having her eye on him. And instead, she's checking in on Miles. Because their relationship is so important. No matter what that relationship is honestly way more friendship than it is anything else. But they care about each other deeply. And so that ultimately leads to this whole world opening up where the Spot now has created all of these problems because he is traveling everywhere. They're going to have to use that little watch thing they use, and she has to go and fix the problem that she started.
Yep.
And when she goes to fix the problem that she started by not watching things with the Spot, he follows her there, and where do they go?
They end up going to
Mumbattan, which is Mumbai and Manhattan mixed together. Very much remind me of Big Hero 6 in San Francisco. The animation is incredible in Mumbai.
Let me show you where the traffic is. Here's the traffic.
Here's the traffic.
Here's the traffic. There's traffic here too.
So good. What is the name of the actor who voices him? He's from Deadpool.
He's from Deadpool.
Yes.
He plays Dilpinder.
Yeah.
In Deadpool.
Yes. Dilpinder?
Andrew. That's not his actual name, but he plays Dilpinder.
Yes.
Andrew's looking him up. Well, he's looking him up. And in this world, this Spider-Man, this is where you see Gwen says this is a very small elite task force of spider people.
His name is Karan Sony.
Yeah. And he was he in Free Guy? No, not Free Guy. What else was he in? He's been in a lot of stuff. He's been in a lot of stuff. Okay.
But he sees his Spider-Man India is saying, "Oh, for the past 4 months," and Miles is like, 4 months, and this guy's already a part of the fray. He knows all of you.
And honestly, I didn't know this because I'm not as into the Spider-Man comic lore and all this stuff as you are, but for our audience listeners that may not know it as much, it's interesting to know that the Spider-Man India is he's an actual
comic book.
He's an actual comic character.
He's an actual character.
And a lot of these that are unpacked, they all are.
I think they all are.
They all are, which is incredibly interesting that you have.
There's a mix of the comic spider people, like most of them are from the comics, but then you get some video games, you get some TV shows, you get the movies, you get a mix.
So that keeps it sort of grounded as well in like this is where they come from, and they didn't just decide to create all of these interesting. One of my favorites is what is it? Peter B. Parker and his daughter
Mayday
and his daughter Mayday. That's one of my favorites. And so you ultimately tell them a little bit where that goes.
So they're chasing Spot throughout the city. There's a lot of great comedy in this one. I'm on a journey of self-discovery. Oh, and you came to India to do it, huh?
Yes. You're not going to eat, pray, love my universe.
You're not going to eat, pray, love me, dude. You're going to say something about naan bread, which is just like saying chai tea.
Oh, that's such a good one.
I love chai tea. No!
It's a really, really good scene.
It's a really good scene.
Which ultimately leads to what happens there is Miles is problematic, but Miles is also incredibly
skilled,
heroic, and skilled, and he is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Spectacular.
He is spectacular. He's awesome.
Sensational.
He's sensational. He's all of these things. So Miles is really good, and he is special. He is very special, and he ends up, stopping what should be a canon event. Mm-hmm. Now, explain to them what a canon event means.
So we get told, like right after this, they save him. His universe starts to unravel. Miguel,
and the canon, before you say that, the canon event that stops is his father
is a police captain close to Spider-Man, dies saving a child from falling rubble.
And he ends up stopping that.
Which
causes
the universe to fall apart.
And implode in some way, and it's caused this massive hole in that universe that now Miguel and those guys are trying to fold back up. But explain to them.
So we get told as they go through after he does this, Miguel wants to see him. And Miguel is trying to explain to Miles that interwoven within the multiverse is the canon. And the canon is fixed points in every spider person's life that are the same.
Yeah.
Every Spider-Man has an uncle that dies or someone close to them that dies.
Yeah.
Every Spider-Man has a police captain that they grow close to that dies.
Canon would be, i.e. Star Wars, that Luke is separated from his father and his sister, and ultimately the story you see played out is canon.
That's the canon.
And then to go outside of that is to go outside of a core canon storyline.
And
Deuterocanon.
Yes, exactly.
What I find very interesting, and I said this to you yesterday, is I think because there is a one-off reference at the very beginning of the movie. Miguel O'Hara says, "Oh, you guys almost broke the multiverse. Don't even get me started on Doctor Strange and that nerd from Earth 1999."
Yeah.
I think they're using what they believe is breaking of the canon. To tie it into the MCU is an incursion. It's where you have two universes rubbing together, and it ends up destroying both of them.
Thank you for the sound effects.
And so I think we're seeing that. That's their whole explanation. That's similar what they're trying to do, but they're not using that verbiage because it's not MCU. It's not Marvel. It's they're trying to keep it tied to Sony.
Speaking of which, too, can we get one of those sound effects boxes to do on there? So every now and then we can be like, "Fa!" or something like that. Something like that.
I could try, yeah.
Let's work on that. I think that's great in the future.
So Miguel's explaining this to him, and so he says, "Okay." He goes, "My dad's about to be captain." And they all look at him. And in this scene, I love this scene so much because it just starts as Peter B. Parker, his kid, Spider-Punk, who came in Moonbatten. We didn't touch on him, but Spider-Punk is really cool. Spider-Gwen.
Daniel Kaluuya.
Hobie, voiced by Daniel Kaluuya, who is wonderful
Phenomenal.
in this. I love him, and I really, really hope we get more of his character.
Probably will.
Well,
in
he's
the next movie.
creating multiverse travel devices.
Yeah.
So
I think he's incredibly important.
He gets introduced, and they're slowly bringing in more and more Spider people. And what's really cool is when they're explaining the canon, we see different takes. Like we see from Spectacular Spider-Man, that really popular show, we see Andrew Garfield with Captain Stacy.
Yeah.
We see Toby with his Uncle Ben. So they're weaving together.
Lego.
We see Lego Spider-Man,
Yes.
animated by an actual child.
Yes, which is amazing.
He did such a good job of recreating the trailer in Lego form that they asked him to animate an entire
That's
scene in the
incredible.
movie.
I remember hearing about that and going.
But they're bringing in more and more Spider people because Miguel knows that Miles is going to try and escape. And when Andrew said that he has the same motivations as Kingpin, what it started this off as Miguel found a universe where his counterpart died.
Yes.
And he took his place. But in him taking his place, where I said he broke the canon, I think that was more of an incursion.
Yeah.
Was because in the MCU we learn if someone from another universe meddles in another universe for too long, that universe implodes. And that's what happened to this other universe. So I think Miguel caused an incursion, but he thinks he broke the canon.
Yeah.
And he thinks that might be what's causing these. But so he explains how he did that and he ended up losing everything. So now he's trying to keep that from happening again.
Okay.
Miles says, "You can't ask me not to not save my father." They trap him. Hobie, the real one, goes, "Don't use your fingertips, use your palms." And he gives Miles the tools to escape. And then this is where we see most of the Spider people, and they're all chasing after Miles.
And that chase sequence, to me, is one of the best sequences in the entire movie. It's really, really good. I think that chase sequence is better than the whole fight sequence at the end of Into.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a really cool chase because you're seeing constant different characters, and there's so many Easter eggs you're seeing, and it's just incredible. Like this feast for the eyes of like you're seeing this, but everybody has meaning. And at one point you see a T-Rex, and like
that goes T-Whip.
T-Whip, yeah.
And like you just see all this stuff, and it's just really, and the score is so good.
Let me talk about Donald Glover too.
Oh, and Donald Glover showing up.
We got a
as
Prowler, and he goes, "A Prowler," and it's Donald Glover, because if you don't know, Donald Glover was cast as Aaron Davis in the MCU, and he has yet to show up as Prowler. I'm really hoping he was in
Homecoming.
He was in Homecoming.
And honestly, it's really cool how they do that whole, over 200 unique spider designs in this sequence. It's just really, really cool how they do it, and it leads to
we have an emotional moment between Peter B and Miles where he's trying to tell him, hey, like he said before, like you can't always save everybody. He goes, but out of the bad, there's also a lot of good.
Well, and this is where Miguel is, and you and I were kind of having a little disagreement on this. I think we ultimately agree on it that Miguel may not fully understand where things are going to be leading, but he knows that Miles was not supposed to be the one who was bit.
Yes, he
knows he wasn't supposed to be the one who was bit. So he, remember in Into that he is bit by a spider. It shows you, and it continually shows you in Into over and over again. It shows you these two numbers, 42, constantly showing you 42. And rewatching yesterday, I'm shocked at how many times.
It shows you
20,
42.
30, 40 different times.
You see 42.
You see 42 show up again. That this one, and you don't really have any major frame of reference yet. You know that this is happening. But Miguel is saying, as he's chasing him, that everybody else is like, you need to stop. Don't tell him this. And ultimately tell him, hey, you're not even supposed to be Spider-Man.
It comes out when he's like seeing him, because Miguel is Spider-Man 2099. He is like a weird vampire spider like thing. Like that. That's where his powers are. It's like a mix of Morbius and Spider-Man. He can't like stick to stuff, and he doesn't have like a spider senses in a way. He has different things. And so he's like clawing at stuff, and Miles is like, dude, are you even Spider-Man? Like, what is going on here? And he goes, are you? And he gives him this whole thing where he tells him that if you hadn't been bit, your Peter Parker would have lived. He would have stopped the collider, and none of this would have happened. I said to you yesterday, I went, Miguel, yes, you can be upset at all these things that have happened post that. But to go like, this is all your fault for getting bit. He didn't control that.
I know, but this is like Nick keeps doing this thing where anytime anybody says anything bad or tries to attack Miles Morales,
No, it's not that.
it's like Nick
that.
is sticking up for his. He's an uncle now and he has a nephew called Miles. It's if they're trying to attack his nephew.
No, it's because if you really think about it, if you really stop to think about it for
opposite. If you stop thinking about it,
no, if you think about it for a second, Miguel is has Miles messed up, and as you said, he's made things worse. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But for him to he got bit, it happened. But for him to treat
I'm gonna
him,
steal this back. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. For him to treat him the way that he does, in specifically this scene on the train, he is so far that is so not cool.
Well, I told you,
but it's a fact though. He said if he had not gotten bitten,
when he slams it down, you're a mistake. You shouldn't even be here. You're, bro.
And I told you yesterday.
In his mind, if the canon events happened as they should have, you shouldn't be here. That's what he's trying to get
Okay,
at.
then think about this. Miles got bit. Why is Miles' universe not imploded? The canon broke.
It hasn't yet, bro.
He shouldn't have been bit. He's the original anomaly, right? So he's the reason that his universe should have imploded already. Because the canon has been broken. Peter Parker's dead.
Yeah.
That wasn't supposed to happen. His universe hasn't imploded.
But maybe it's not time yet.
Yes, because his dad hasn't
become captain
yet.
But do you understand what I'm saying though? Are you understanding what I'm getting at here?
It's been just a few months.
It's been a year and 4 months since he got bit, and the canon broke because Peter Parker died.
This is the point I made to you yesterday, that I do believe that Miguel is completely unfair and all these things, but Miguel to me is like a reminder of like what Tony Stark was like in Civil War. That Tony is, he has become so deluded and fearful and frantic because of what he has allowed and what he hasn't stopped himself, realizing that you cannot control all of this. And that's kind of the problem with Miguel. Miguel needs to understand that you can't control it all.
Yes.
Like, all of this is just controlled chaos, and ultimately it's going to get past you. It's the Dr. Ian Malcolm effect of, like, you cannot control this forever when you're dealing with controlled chaos.
And I also agree with what Miles says earlier, where he looks at Miguel and he goes, "You can't." He's like, "You're wanting us to be okay with just letting people die." Yeah. You see, like, how messed up that is. And then I showed you a clip that I think is one of the best games. It is it's Spider-Man Into the Future, Spider-Man, where it's a Miguel O'Hara and Peter Parker thing, and Peter Parker is trying to stop Mary Jane or someone's death, and Miguel's like, "Nope." And he goes, you want me to sit back and watch people suffer and die while I do nothing? He goes, "That's not Spider-Man. That's not what Spider-Man does."
Well, yeah, and I mean, that's why I think he's the villain of this. But, like, he's an interesting villain. He's an interesting villain because he has sort of a motivation to him. I think that's part of the crux of what this movie is missing, is you haven't really fully fleshed out what that motivation is yet, and you're going to in Beyond. And I think that's what makes, in my opinion, a really, really, really great movie. But it's like, to me, it can't be as good as Into the Spiderverse, purely because it's not a finished story. It's just not a finished story.
And I agree with you 100%. That's why I said that this next one, they have to stick the landing.
Oh yeah, well, it's incredible because, and then so ultimately he does travel. He
does. He goes on the train. He goes. They're like, "Hey, you don't have a plan. What are you doing?" He goes, "Well, I lured 100 of your spider people away from your clubhouse. I'm gonna do my own thing."
Boom! You get the clip. You get the clip.
Oh, I love it.
And you get that quote.
He falls off. He says bye to Gwen, because Gwen and them had said, "This isn't what we talked about." And he goes, "You guys talked about this. You guys have known that this is gonna happen, and you didn't tell me." So Miles in this moment feels incredibly betrayed. He leaves. He gets back to the base. He goes to the go home machine that scans your DNA and
sneaks
takes you
past
back.
the girl, gets going through it. She has an opportunity to stop him. Doesn't, because they're all starting to watch Miguel become
crazy.
Unhinged.
He is like ripping the thing.
Well,
He
yeah.
looks in. He
He's
looks
lost
incensed,
his mind. He's lost his mind, and
which is a comic thing. If he doesn't like, if we see in the movie him inject himself with something.
Yes.
If he doesn't do that, he starts to get
he becomes
insane.
crazy. He becomes crazy. But and I need more of that story because I think that that's going to be a really interesting part of Beyond. But ultimately, he leaves, going back to his world.
It sends him back, and Miguel goes, "Okay, he kicks Gwen off. Hobie has quit at this point.
Yes.
Hobie quit before the big chase. He kicks Gwen out. Gwen says, "We're supposed to be the good guys," and everybody's silent.
Yeah.
And Miguel says, "We are." And in that moment, I don't think there's anybody in that room that fully believes him.
Yeah. No.
And
No, but Hobie had made clear early in the episode. He was telling Miles, like,
learn what this is about before you enlist.
Yeah, before you enlist. Like, you need to figure out what these people are about and what they're trying to control and what they're trying to do. And see their motivations. Because he's not buying it.
And he's just ripping electronics.
Yeah, and he's just, like, ripping things apart. So, ultimately, that leads him to go to Earth.
Where he goes, so Miles goes back, Gwen goes home. Miles is rushing to get back to his house because he thinks that they're chasing him. Miles is rushing to get to his house. Gwen has a moment with her dad where he finally said, he goes, "Oh, I quit." And she goes, "When?" Well, he's like, "Halfway through your speech, I stopped being I quit being the police captain."
Yeah.
So she goes, "Okay, so he's not gonna die."
Yeah, he's not going to die.
And then he goes, "Hey, somebody dropped this off for
so
you."
that's all changing.
That's all changing. Cannon breaking. Oh, Miguel.
Yeah, cannon breaking. Also, we don't get any clarification on what's happening in Moonbatten. We don't know anything there, so that's still left up for grabs and what's happening there. At the same time,
Hobie gives her a homemade universal transporter watch. Miles is still going. Spider-Man 2099 Miguel shows up chasing him and goes back to Miles's house where Gwen also goes back to, takes out Scarlet Spider by Andy Samberg.
Voiced by Andy Samberg, who's fantastic in this one. Love that. I would love to see more of
I'm straining you with my
He's so good. Ultimately, you see, Miles show back up in this moment. He gets to talk to his mom. What's her name again?
Rio.
He gets to talk to his mom.
He reveals
Rio.
that he's Spider-Man.
He reveals that he's Spider-Man to her.
And she goes, "Who?"
She's like, "Why have you changed your hair? Who is Spider-Man?
What are you talking about?
What are you even talking about?" And then all of a sudden, she sees his uncle show up. And he's like, "What is going on?" And his uncle comments about his hair. And he's like, "What have you done to change your hair?" And then his uncle says, "Hey, we got to go work on something," because his uncle knows what's up. And he takes him up to the rooftop. And oh man, the next scene that goes down is
crazy,
chills inducing. It's so good.
Gwen sneaks into Miles'
Empire
room.
Strikes Back good. Like
Gwen,
that good.
Gwen sneaks in because in this moment we're flashing between Miles in his room talking to his mom and Gwen looking in through the window. And then we realize Gwen enters the bedroom and Miles isn't there.
Yeah.
And Miles sees his uncle. And so Gwen ends up realizing he's in the wrong universe.
They're in the wrong universe. You've been slowly unpacking it. You've been seeing it. He has been bitten by a spider that's from a different dimension. And when it picked up his dimension, it picked up the DNA from
the
spider, and that's where it sends you back to. And then he's there, and who shows up out of nowhere and is watching him because he is convinced that his uncle is Prowler, but he looks up when he realizes his uncle isn't Prowler, and he sees a Prowler sitting down there, and Prowler lands down, and who is Prowler?
Miles Morales.
Why did you say that?
Because he says it more. He says it more Puerto Rican.
He says it way more Puerto Rican.
Because his dad. Because in this universe, Jeffrey Davis has died already.
Jefferson.
Jeff. Miles' dad is dead. Miles' dad is dead, and so he's been raised up more by his mom. And so, if you notice, that's one of the distinctions is he has braids, but he also speaks with more of a Hispanic accent.
Yeah, he is much more culturally Puerto Rican. Absolutely culturally, and he shows up, and this is as I explained it to you yesterday. This is Back to the Future 2. This is Biff's world. And there is no Spider-Man. There is no hero here because he became Spider-Man that was supposed to be for that era. Whether it should have been Miles,
which leads to an interesting thing. Lots of people are like, was a big plot point. A lot of discussion in theory is he a villain? Is
Yeah.
the Prowler in this universe a villain, or is he an anti-hero?
Yeah, it could be. Like, seriously. Like, right now, he's looking like a villain. Like, and that's where it leaves it. That he's going to try to destroy him. And you don't really know what's going on. But what you do hear in the background is that the Sinister Six cartel is actually at work.
Mm-hmm.
You hear, what's the Daily Bugle guy?
James Jameson.
No, says...
Jay Jonah. Jay Jonah. I was thinking of another person.
Literally says on the TV in the back. There were little details I was picking up this time that I didn't pick up. They say the Sinister Six are out there, and that if a masked vigilante would show up, we would welcome him at this time. Like, it's like they're said, like, the world needs a Spider-Man so bad. It is an absolute chaos, and then the movie ends.
To be continued. We've waited 4 years. It's happening next year.
Man, and yet, what is your score for Across the Universe?
4.5.
Yeah, I have to give it a 4.5. And that hurts me because I truly love this movie as much as Into, but I can't give it a 5 until I see Beyond.
Until you see Beyond.
Because it is an unfinished story. And so, but these are two excellent Spider-Man movies, which leads us into our ranking. We're going to go through and rank all these. Do we want to start with those, or
real quick before we get to this? I want to say, does it suck that we've had to wait? Absolutely.
But it'll be great.
It's going to be like, I don't want to overhype it, because then if so many people are going to build it up and then it might not reach that expectation, but I'm so excited for it no matter what.
The truth is, there is no way you can underhype this movie. This movie is Spider-Man 3 had such massive expectations for it that it was never going to be able to meet up to. And then it doesn't even try. And Sam Raimi even said that he was like, after the build-up of what had happened in 2, with especially 2 being not only named one of the best Spider-Man movies of all time, but one of the best superhero movies ever made, that you can't keep up on that level. Now, I do think this one will pull it off. I really do. We were talking beforehand that why did they do it? I do think there's a money aspect.
A money thing. It takes time. Like, because they're doing so many different things in animation. I think, too, there might be some live action aspects to this
they
one.
might. They might be pulling in... this might be Avatar in that they are waiting for some technologies to develop to do some things that they've never done.
And we've
before.
seen teasers. We know, like, I think they know it's coming out next year. We have the date.
Yeah, June of next year.
June 18th.
Do you think they're trying to pull in Caleb McLaughlin? Are you pro Caleb McLaughlin?
I'm very pro Caleb McLaughlin.
I'm very
for
pro
Goat.
Caleb McLaughlin.
Quite literally for Goat. One of the marketing things was Caleb McLaughlin walking around the Sony Animation Studios talking to Chris Lord and Phil Miller, and he goes, "Hey, let's talk about what we're doing with Spider-Man here."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that's an actual thing. That's a real actual thing.
That's an actual marketing thing.
And it may be just like trying to bait the fans, which they love to do.
Yeah.
But it would be fun, and it would really, and I think Caleb McLaughlin is one of those characters from Stranger Things who he was one of the best. Him and Sadie Sink were one of the best duos in the entire series. They were so good. And we're getting Sadie Sink. And also, before we get into this, can we just real quickly talk about how amazing that brand new trailer?
Sensational?
That's sensational.
Stop it.
How superior?
Seriously, that brand new day trailer is incredible.
It's like, here's the thing. Another one that, you
Tell us the thing, Nick.
That you can't, like, I don't think you can underhype is Brand New Day. I'm so excited. I keep showing you the memes where it's like Spider-Man fans when he's broke, depressed, and ripped.
Yeah.
And it's all the fans just being like,
yes.
This is what I waited for.
We don't want Spider-Man.
This is what I wanted. I want him depressed.
Far From Home, we didn't like that one.
He was way too happy.
He was way too happy.
That wasn't depression. That was grief.
That was grief. Like, that was hard. So, all right, we're running out of time. So let's get to our rankings today, or else this is going to be a 2-hour episode.
Yeah. So we start out, it is chronological. So we have Spider-Man 1.
Spider-Man 1. I think Spider-Man 1, in my opinion, I'm going to have a lot of these, in my opinion, but I believe that Spider-Man 1 is an S-tier superhero movie. I believe that Spider-Man 1 is an S-tier. superhero movie. I love it. I think it's so good.
I just got flashbanged by that opinion.
I think it's S tier. I think it's so amazing. Why? Because I just don't think that, like, I think it set the tone for what superhero movies could become later on, and Sam Raimi nailed it.
I think by that admission, you already just said that it's not the best. By saying that it set the tone for what others could become.
Yeah, but
you're saying
I also
that
think
it's
that you can, like, I think you can put Iron Man as an S tier movie, and there are better movies than Iron Man in the MCU, but it established it.
I think it's got to be an A.
I'm fine with A.
I agree with A.
I would
have placed it at A.
I'm fine with A, but can I tell you why I wanted it S tier? In case one of you jokers tried to put it at B, that would at least make sure it cemented at A.
I mean, truthfully, my original thought was B.
Yeah.
Truthfully, my original thought was B.
Way too low.
Spider-Man 2.
S tier. Absolutely. S tier. Incredible. So good.
So good. Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3, in my opinion, is
it's a fat C. It's a fat C.
Oh man.
Studio got way too involved. They tried to do way too many things.
Do we have F there? Is that an F?
No, it just goes to D. Because that's what we.
Yeah. All right. C.
It is not I enjoy watching any Spider-Man movie. I enjoy watching any except for Spider-Man Lotus.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching any Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man 3, I'm sitting there and I'm going.
C. I'll give C.
I'm just kind of like sitting there going, man.
Although I love Topher Grace.
I also love
Topher
Grace is great, man.
I love.
Don't
Topher
hate.
Grace.
We will not take any Topher Grace.
I will not take
slander.
any Topher Grace slander. I love Topher Grace. Do I think he's the person that you want as Eddie Brock?
Absolutely.
Well,
not.
that's what I'm saying.
Absolutely
Like,
not. But I love Topher Grace.
okay, well, that's like saying like you like Jack Black in every movie because he's Jack Black. I'm saying like Topher Grace is Topher Grace.
I love Topher Grace just in general. Like
in a role where you're supposed to be Eddie Brock.
Yes,
it was a random pick.
He was coming off of that '70s show. He's trying to branch out into the more film acting.
Pick, man.
It was.
But Amazing Spider-Man 1
Grace.
for me. This is a B. Amazing Spider-Man 1.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Amazing Spider-Man 1 is absolutely.
I could see an argument for A strictly because I stand by the fact that I think Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone have the best romantic.
It is not as good as Spider-Man 1.
I disagree.
It's not as good as Spider-Man 1.
I put it at A, but if y'all both have B, then the average is at B.
It's got to be B.
It's not as good as Spider-Man 1 in my opinion.
Now
and where it's at on there just proved it.
Here's the dark horse. Amazing Spider-Man 2. I like Amazing Spider-Man 2 more than the first one.
Gosh.
And can I give a quick reason why?
For Amazing
Can
Spider-Man.
I give a quick reason why? Yes, did it fall into some of the same pits as Spider-Man 3? 100%. Is it very good?
Paul Giamatti's Rhino.
Is it
was
very
ridiculous.
good? No. That, until I've seen Brand New Day in theaters, is the best Spider-Man suit put to screen of all time.
That is a lie. That is a lie.
If you're going to sit here and look at me and say that his suit in Amazing Spider-Man 2 is not the best live-action Spider-Man suit, you're wrong.
It is not the best live-action Spider-Man
If you're
suit.
going to look at me in my eyes and tell me that Tobey Maguire's is better with his little sharp, angular eyes, that's wrong.
I will absolutely stand on that. And I would stand on any Tom Holland suit is better than that suit.
Oh, that's not true in the slightest.
Yeah, this is
He says as he's wearing a Tom Holland.
Yeah, I love this. I love this hoodie. I love this suit. Why do you think in Brand New Day they went, man, what if we made it look not like our other suits?
Because they're making him a street level
they're
Spider-Man
making him a different
now.
kind of Spider-Man.
I can't put this in
But
Dion's
this
logic.
movie-
I can't. It is not worse than Spider-Man 3.
It
is on the same tier as Spider-Man.
Well,
3.
yeah, but there's no way. You were going to put that in an A?
D.
No, I was going to put that in B.
Oh, okay. I thought you were calling it an A movie.
No. I was going to put it in B. I was just saying I prefer it over Amazing Spider-Man
Jamie
1.
Foxx is
You tell me Jamie Foxx?
laughable in this movie. He is
They
laughable.
did him dirty, and he thinks so too.
And Jamie Foxx would tell you they did him dirty, and he's laughable.
That's
and
why
when they let him do No Way Home.
Yes.
They let him do the version he should have been able to do in this one.
Yes.
And honestly, he's laughable. He's a caricature.
Actually, I'll also say this should be in B for Gwen Stacy's death.
No. Gwen Stacy's death alone is not it is not a good enough thing to save the entire movie.
Do you think there's a point in any of Tobey Maguire's movies that the emotions hit as hard as they did when Gwen Stacy died?
I mean, I'll agree with you on that point.
Yes, but honestly, that's creating a moment there that is just like trying to save the rest of a really bad movie. Like tonally, both of those movies are far more consistent tonally than this movie is consistently.
Look, my grading again. Remember, I wanted Amazing Spider-Man at A, so that Amazing Spider-Man 2 would be at a B.
No,
But
That's okay. Homecoming.
Amazing Spider-Man 2, D.
No.
Absolute piece of garbage. And the suit,
You're false.
probably the worst suit I've ever seen in my entire life.
I'm about to walk out. I'm about to walk out of this podcast. I'm about to walk out of this podcast. I can't believe what you're saying to me right now. Spider-Man Homecoming. First one with Tom Holland after Civil War.
Great.
A.
Absolutely.
A tier.
It's an A Spider-Man movie.
This is Venom.
What a great kickoff to the Tom Holland. And Venom is not Vulture. Not Venom.
Vulture.
Vulture is really, really great in this. Love Tom and Michael Keaton. He's fantastic.
The scene where he realizes that he is Vulture in the car and he realizes that he's Spider-Man in the car.
Yes.
Does she know?
Yeah, love it. So good.
So good.
I love the MJ twist there towards the end and stuff. All the stuff. It was just really clever. And then the whole Tony Stark throughout all of it, with great power. Like, it's so good.
If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it.
Yeah, it's so good. It's really, really good.
Venom.
A B. I think Venom's a B to me. Out of all the Venoms, it's the best.
It is the best Venom. That's why I'll put it in B.
I believe that it is as rewatchable as Amazing Spider-Man to me. They're both rewatchable, very rewatchable movies.
Into the Spider-Verse.
It's an A. I mean S. Absolutely S.
Whoa.
S. Absolutely S.
I was about to say, that's crazy. Far From Home.
B.
A. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a B. It's not as good as Homecoming.
It's
I liked it more than
tonally, tonally as well. Tonally, fine, good, but
it's not a Spider-Man movie.
It's not a Spider-Man movie, and it is incredibly.
Is it because he's not in New York?
Yeah, 100%. That's a fair point. Like Spider-Man and New York are, they got to be connected.
Yeah,
that's
and honestly, if I were ranking these three right here, I would rank it above Venom on B, but not above Amazing Spider-Man. I think Amazing Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield's, is better than Far From Home. I think it's a better Spider-Man movie.
Do you agree with that?
I'd put it at a B. I think Far From Home is better than Amazing Spider-Man.
I'll put it right.
But I'm contradicting myself, so what do I know?
Yeah.
Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
A D.
You get that out of here.
Yeah,
that hour and a half made thing to tease Endgame tease Endgame and
then do
No Way
nothing.
Home and then do absolutely nothing with it. Absolute trash.
Hey,
waste of
R.I.P.
Carnage.
to wasting Woody Harrelson
Oh my gosh.
as Carnage.
And-
Totally wasting
and,
Woody Harrelson as a great Carnage.
And what's his name? Who's in that show? And the guy who's in Adolescence. Who? was
He's so good, and they do nothing with
They
him.
do absolutely nothing with
They
him.
do nothing with him. They have
This is-
great
this was a
actors.
stinker of a movie.
And do you know who the director was of that one? Andy Serkis. Like, they had everything set up to make a great movie. I think that this movie here was studio intervention. And they chopped this sucker up. And Sony, this was the beginning of your downfall.
Yeah.
Of all of your movies
Come
that
on.
you made.
Ugh, that
Yes.
hurts. That hurts.
Freaking
No Way Home, for me, this is an S tier movie.
Yes.
No Way Home is an S tier movie for me.
I'd say S.
No Way Home is an S tier
No,
movie.
it's an A tier in my opinion. It's an A tier movie. I think overall it is a good movie, but I think it has some really inconsistent plot holes and some problems.
Name one.
What?
Name
Inconsistent
one.
plot holes? My gosh, dude, look up any single search about plot holes when it comes to No Way Home.
Give it to me.
There's tons of plot
You
holes.
keep
in
saying
One
it's
Way
fun.
One.
Give it to me. Give me one.
Great. I'll
Don't look it up. I want you to tell me right now.
I will do some research on No Way Home, some more, and I will actually point out some things. But there are
3 Spider-Men fighting together, live action, Statue of Liberty, S tier movie right here.
Yeah, but a great scene doesn't necessarily make a great movie. Okay? A tier.
I say S.
Yeah, A
That's
tier.
2 for S and 1 for A.
A.
You put it in S.
It's going in S tier. It's going in S tier.
I don't agree.
It's 2 S's versus 1 A.
It's 2 S's versus
Average is
1 A.
S.
I don't agree.
Morbius, S tier.
Well, yes, absolutely.
More $1 billion.
There's more. That's the more.
It was the Morbius movie
It's
of all
so
time.
good. It's so good.
That's good.
It's really good.
Put that down there. Let's make sure.
Honestly, let's can we put Morbius at C? Come on, can we just put it at C? Just purely
Because
for the-
Michael Keaton's in it.
well, because
For
of the
2 seconds?
of the like the ad campaign around it that everybody took Morbius with, and they started doing all this weird stuff of like Morbillion, everything like that. All this.
Well, that
different
was
stuff.
after it came out. The
Yeah.
stuff before him where they were like, hey, look at all these Spider-Man things.
Yeah, but I want to really highlight how bad Madam Web and Kraven are,
Oh, that's fair.
and let's just put it
That's
at
fair.
C.
I feel like they're all equally
They're
bad.
all equally bad. They're all
You can't
D's.
put- you
Yeah,
can't-
put them all.
You can't put Morbius and Amazing Spider-Man 2 in the same
No,
bucket.
Morbius needs to be D. Yeah, it's absolutely.
Across the Spider-Verse.
S.
It's S.
S.
Absolutely.
Madam Web, you asked me at the beginning, Nick, you love Sydney Sweeney. Where are you going to put this movie? This movie sucked.
This movie's so bad.
This movie was. I walked out of that theater. There's not many times. One in a theater, I go. This
S tier.
Is awful.
S tier.
Absolutely not.
Madam Web. S tier.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely S tier movie. No, I'm just kidding. It is a D. It's an absolute terrible.
It is. Oh, that's another one. Marketing.
Hey,
wise
Ben
and
Parker's
stuff.
in it.
Waste of Adam Scott. Waste of Sydney Sweeney. Waste
Yeah,
of
I
so
knew you would
many
say that.
people. It was awful.
Yeah, we all knew you were going to say
This
that.
movie.
Loser.
From a filmmaking
'Cause she's such a
standpoint-
good actress.
No, from a filmmaking standpoint, when a character's mouth is moving, saying words, and you audibly hear them not saying those same words because your movie sucks so bad that you had to fix stuff that far late into post, shut up. This movie sucks. Worst one.
Hey,
Hey,
jeez.
you want to tell us how you really feel, Nick?
Yeah, tell us
Venom 3, The Last Dance. C.
C. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Last Dance was decent.
Venom Horse
Like
was
it's
pretty cool.
fun. It's fun in the same way that I think like
Him and Mrs. Chen in Vegas was pretty cool.
it. Oh yeah, absolutely. It was hilarious, and them dancing was so stupid, but I loved it.
So
But I loved it. And the Venom horse,
the Venom
the
Horse.
symbiote horse,
That's fun.
so much fun. So much fun. So
Introducing Noel just for it to go absolutely nowhere.
yeah, but it just this was But to me, here's the deal: when you're going C up here, C and up, Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 2, and the Venom Last Dance,
Venom Last Dance.
very rewatchable movies, even though they're not really that great.
Yeah.
C and up, all of these are super rewatchable. That's the great thing about Spider-Man movies; is they're all so much fun. This D tier, these are not rewatchable. They are so bad.
Hey,
And
guys.
Kraven the Hunter,
Goes in that tier.
in my opinion, is actually worse than Madam Web.
I can see your reasoning.
Yeah.
But
for
me, it's not.
I just felt way too cheated by Madam Web's marketing.
Yes. Yeah.
That
I felt-
can't
I would
forgive them.
argue with you. I would agree with you.
I
on that
feel like Kraven is bad. Craven's bad.
one. Kraven is really, really
It's a
bad.
terrible movie.
I think Morbius is, of those three, Morbius is the best
Yes.
of those three. And I would do, if you're ranking that bottom tier right here,
This one goes before.
you're going to put Morbius first,
Yeah, Venom the Last Dance.
Venom the Last Dance, Kraven, and then Madam Web.
Yeah, Kraven. In that movie, I was having an okay time in that movie. It wasn't Madam Web where I was watching it and I was going, I hate this. Why am I still sitting here? Why am I still paying attention? Maybe because I really wanted them to say something about Spider-Man, and it took them the entire freaking movie to just say Peter.
Yeah. And they teased us and gave us nothing in return.
Oh my gosh, I'm an uncle or something or whatever. Oh, guess what? It's all the fun and none of the responsibility. That's what he thinks. Shut up.
Can we rank these here too and see? I think that. Yeah, I'd give the edge to Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 3 is pretty bad. Yeah. And then Venom Last Dance. Yeah, absolutely. On the B tier here, we've got Amazing Spider-Man, Far From Home, Venom. I think Venom's the worst of the three. I would give the edge. I think I would keep Amazing Spider-Man as the first of that group. When it comes to A tier, I like where that's at.
I'll do this for you. I'll put this one behind those two.
That's fair.
I think that's a very fair. I would actually totally accept that. That's very, very fair. And
Well, I'd put.
Although, if you looked at my list, if my list was a ranking of this, I think Into is first.
I think actually
Into
mine,
Spider-Man 2, then Across.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then Across. And then I would literally switch No Way Home and Spider-Man 1 literally just at one spot. That's how close they are to me of being so good. So
that's why I put Spider-Man 1's VHS tape by you.
So, I mean, we
So I knew you'd
ultimately
enjoy it.
agree a lot on the list.
Yeah, Madam Web. God, Sony.
As you guys had the most heated arguments about
This isn't
the
on the wheel.
spider suit.
This isn't on the wheel, but if this was on the wheel, oh my goodness, I'd rip that
It's just,
movie
I
apart.
only go there with Nick because when he talks about Spider-Man, he gets more fired up about that than he does Jesus. Oh,
Come on.
So,
Nick, what is the best Spider-Man suit?
What is the best part? Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Is it?
Are you talking like live action? Or are you talking comic? What are you talking
Sorry,
about?
I'm sorry. Like, what is your top 5?
My top 5 suits.
Yeah.
yes.
Amazing like live action.
Yes.
Amazing Spider-Man 2. Amazing Spider-Man 2. The Brand New Day suit is number 2.
Okay.
Already is number 2. Toby's 3.
Oh, the Toby 3 suit is great.
Toby that his
I like the Spider-Man 2 suit.
Spider-Man 2 like his is number 3.
Are they not the same?
No, they're different.
They
did different suits for every.
Like some of the blues are darker, some of the reds are brighter.
Okay.
4 would be his black suit. Would be Toby's
He's
black
more,
suit.
Toby's more black and red. in
Yeah,
the
his
beginning.
looks more like it's very very dark.
Very dark.
And then 5 would be his No Way Home suit, his integrated suit.
Yeah, the integrated suit's really really cool.
The one you're wearing right now?
No, not the Iron
The
Spider.
black and red.
The black and red.
The black and red
Well,
integrated suit.
the black, red, and gold.
Okay.
The black, red,
integrated.
and gold is really really cool. I love the one he makes on the plane.
No, the one
No,
the
that's
one
Far
where
From
Doc Ock puts the nanotech back onto
Oh
his,
yeah, I love
his
that
Far
one.
From Home suit.
Yeah, that was good. Okay, I think it's time for the wheel.
It is.
man.
Oh yeah, it is time for the wheel. I almost forgot about the wheel. I almost was given the.
We
outro.
know this was a long one, but
It's-
this was a lot to unpack, and this brings to the wheel. For those of you who don't know, the wheel consists of movies from our collection. Sometimes we add more, but there's a lot of different stuff. Some that we have watched, some that we haven't watched, mostly that I've watched. And so we're gonna shuffle it up a little bit. And drum roll, please. To our next film or franchise.
Brittany wanted this one. Brittany, we didn't cheat it. We didn't cheat it. I swear. Brittany said we need to do this one because the new one comes
new one's
out.
coming
Oh
out.
my gosh!
Perfect timing.
We
Look.
didn't cheese this at all. I shuffled that thing so much, and there's not a way to tell it to land on a certain
Oh,
one.
that's great. Super Mario Brothers.
Perfect.
So this is the old Bob Hoskins one.
Yes,
right?
the 90s one.
no.
Can we just take a minute and talk about that movie? On that.
Yeah, we can talk about
next
it. We can
week.
bring that
We
up.
need to talk about that next week. All right, guys. Thank you so much. It's been a good one.
You want to thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate each of you that take time to watch or listen. If you're on YouTube, give us a subscribe, give us a like, leave a comment on Spotify. Follow. You can comment on there too. Share the podcast with a friend. We're so incredibly appreciative, and that's like I say. You know, Rob, I'll throw it to you.
Get the word out. See us at the movies.